What's up guys? So I want to bring you a commentary talking about how to maximize your win percentage in solo queue and how to hard carry high-low games. So the first thing to note this game is I'm playing Twitch. I'll put my masteries and runes up on the screen right now so you can see what I'm doing. And basically this game, I'm going to tab out really quick. This game is a 2,500 average, which puts people pretty much at like Diamond 1, I'm at Diamond 150 points, Diamond 160 points, etc. So this is a pretty high game. It was Challenger last season, so yeah. So the first thing I really want to talk about is using low nexus to your advantage and duoing properly. And by that I mean, this game I'm duoing with Ruggers, and he last picked his Malphite into their team. And the reason he did that is because you look at their team, they have a Yasuo mid, and when I have a full AD team like this, and an attack speed team, like especially Aurelia, really relies on attack speed, Malphite is a brilliant pick. Now, the reason we did that, like I said, slowing attack speed is massive, and it allows you to pretty much just 1v5 the team with Malphite at the end of the game. So, before I get into this game, I want to talk about how to maximize your win percentage in solo queue. So this game, I noticed my team, I know a few players on my team, especially as Nidalee, is not a very good player. I said that from experience, because I've played with him before. It's nothing to hate on him at all, he's just not very good at Nidalee in my opinion. Aatrox only has 5 games on Aatrox, and Karma also only has 3 games on Karma, which means I'm not very comfortable laning against a Thresh that has 58 games and a Lucian of all champions which has 26 games. Because in my opinion, Twitch has quite a weak laning phase unless you play with a really strong lane partner, and this Karma is obviously not a support main, so I don't want to put myself into a situation where I'm going to 2v2 in an already losing matchup with someone that doesn't play support versus, by the looks of it, a support main, because that's how you lose the game pretty much. Secondly, they have a Yasuo mid who's a challenger last season. Now, in my experience playing against Yasuos, they do extremely well versus most mid laners. However, this guy doesn't have a great KDA, and Yasuo versus Nidalee, as I'm sure most of you know, is a really horrible matchup for Nidalee. It's pretty much considered a counter pick quite hard at this point. So the last thing I want to do is have my lane speed. Now, we decided this game to go for a 2v1 matchup, and the reason we did a 2v1 is because it allows me to free farm, it allows Aurelia to get put behind, and most of all, it doesn't know, most people, even at this ELO, do not know how to 2v1 properly. Now obviously, because me and Ruggers are competitive players, we know how to 2v1 properly. I've had a lot of experience in the past doing so. I find when you 2v1, it either goes extremely well for you or extremely bad for them. There's no real two ways about it. So you'll notice here, this Aurelia obviously does not know how to 2v1, as she walks into lane, and it's also worth noting here, she actually saw Karma come top lane, so she knew 100% this was a 2v1. But for some reason, she walks into lane, I obviously follow into lane, and she goes for a creep, which is an insanely risky play, 2v1. The last thing you want to do here is Q a creep, so he gets hit by the Empower Karma Q, I chase down, managed to hit him, I think 5 times, expunging at the first blood. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. There's literally no reason to do that. He obviously has no experience playing 2v1s, because if he did, he definitely would not have done that. So, just by doing 2v1 already, we started out, I got first blood. I'm going to fast forward this a little bit, because all we really do is push towers, it's pretty boring. You notice Aurelia here decided to TP bottom, as I guess she just didn't want to play 2v1, but that put her experience behind, because the problem is when you TP into a lane like this, you put everyone behind on your team. Not only do you put yourself behind in experience in gold, you also put your bottom lane miles behind the experience in gold. As you notice, that they're going to have to run all the way back up to lane, and by the time they get here, we're going to be like level 3, and Lucian's going to be level 2, if that. And we're going to get tower pressure, etc, etc, because of this Aurelia TP. And the only thing he could really buy was 2 health potions and a mana potion, which really isn't that big of a deal. So, overall it worked out pretty nicely, in the early game at least, where we got our first blood, we got some tower pressure, we got some creeps, you know. Can't really complain about that. And not only that, but Malphite versus Aurelia is a pretty favourable matchup, as you see here. He gets ganked and pretty much dies. I think he does die actually, if I remember. Yeah, so he does die. And I'm sure you can imagine if you were in this game, you'd be pretty sad. So Lee Sin ganked me here. I had to blow my flash, which is a bit sad, because I don't really like blowing my flash. But, you know, I didn't want to die. Because the thing is, when you get an advantage in any game, the last thing you really want to do is die and give it up. Because if I died here, they'd have got a lot of tower pressure, maybe even took the tower, and Lucian would have got ahead of me, when I'm pretty much even with him now, if not ahead. So, which tells me I should probably do this, actually thinking about it. So that looks about right. That looks about right, even. Yeah, cool. So red is, again, just getting nothing here. And when you play 2v1, obviously a lot of the time it will come to this point where it comes to a 2v2. And good players will do this against you because they don't want to play the 2v1 matchup. And that's fine. But the only thing you can really do is just play it like a 2v2 in the bottom lane, apart from there's 3 rushes. And sit under the tower and farm, because they have no pressure on killing you really, unless you really screw up like this, basically. So here, we actually almost killed Lucian from what I remember, but exhaust kind of screwed it up. And I didn't go too far, because again, I don't want to give my advantage away. So I'm going to speed this up a bit here, because from what I remember, nothing really happens, and the most important bit is sort of towards the mid-late game when things start happening. So I'm probably going to fast forward this to 10 minutes here, I think, as the laning phase, again, it's a pretty boring phase. So this is where the game really changes. They did a gank 4-man top. I died for it, and I think they got another kill out of it, and we only got Yasuo out of it. But the main thing to notice is that Malphite TP'd up, and so did Aurelia. So basically it came to this sort of weird 3v3 in the top lane. And I think, in my opinion, this is where the game changes. I died and decided, okay, this really isn't working out for me, because I'm getting further behind than I want to be, and they're getting ahead because of things like that, where I don't want to be team fighting with this team, because I honestly have no faith in team fighting with this team. And that's something I say a lot. It's a very selfish mentality, but at the end of the day, if it wins games, it wins games. So instead of going back top, I came bottom, and me and Aatrox took the dragon. And I think Lee Sin, from what I remember, tried to smite this, and Aatrox actually smited really, really well. I wish my camera would stop changing. It's really annoying. Manual camera. There we go. So yeah, Lee Sin should have smited that really, but Aatrox got a really sick smite. I get the kill here on Lee Sin, and I get a blue buff for it, but he gets the Aatrox, so it's sort of worth it. Aurelia tries to kill me here, and I did some really nice kiting, and I think I kill him actually, from what I remember. Yeah, he flashes up. I'm worried about me dying here. This one thing is to note, is to not overcommit when you're ahead. And I'm not really saying I'm that ahead, but pretty ahead. And I overcommitted a little bit hard here. Decided to back off because I just didn't want to give him the chance of killing me. Because if I get queued onto and E'd here, I'm pretty much dead with no help. And I have no summoners up, so... He tries to hit the R on me, goes to the QE, and I don't give him it obviously. Hit my W and then literally gets the kill. Which isn't ideal, but I mean, you know, I don't really care. Malphite solos Lucian somehow top lane. I want to go back and watch that because I'm really not sure how it happened, but I'm not going to go back and watch it because it's pretty boring. It's a Malphite gank of all things. So, we're not going to do that. Fast forwarding here, I take the bottom tower, and from what I remember, I back here, and I wanted to buy a blade, but I just didn't have the gold to buy a blade, which is really unfortunate, but yeah. So, while I'm backing, I want to talk about the general game plan that you have when you play Twitch. And this is how I've got to pretty much where I am in Diamond 1, 55 points, which I think is pretty decent at the moment, where my whole game plan as Twitch is basically my old game plan of UDIT, where I sit in my lane, and the only thing I do is push my lane, push my lane, push my lane, and then fight 1v1 against whoever I can fight pretty much, because Twitch is this sort of massive powerhouse hero that just beats everybody 1v1. And here, my team all decided to go randomly die to the Yasuo and the Lee Sin, and this pretty much further confirmed my thoughts that, okay, yeah, playing with this team is not going to work if I want to win this game, because Yasuo and Lee Sin are both going to get huge. I somehow picked this kill up here on Yasuo. I'm not really sure why he overstayed his welcome, but, you know, he did. So I got another kill here, which puts me at 3-2-2, which is a very nice place to be at. And then obviously I have to roam bottom, because the last thing you want to do when you're trying to get ahead is to lose towers, because that's how people get ahead. Towers are the most important thing in this game, and they probably forever will be the most important thing in this game, just because the amount of XP and map pressure, etc. they give. So, saving towers is 100% important, especially when you have 2 teleports in the game. Like, Malphite having teleport is so key to have towers up, otherwise, like, teleport loses so much value, it's actually insane. So saving towers is very, very important. So let me look at my gold here. I'm at 800 gold only, which is almost enough to buy my blade. So I don't want to fight here, because obviously when you get your blade, it's pretty much Twitch's biggest power spike, at least until you have Infinity Edge, because blade allows you to do all this stupid stuff that you shouldn't be able to do really, in my opinion, but that's Twitch at the moment. So I'm going to recall here and buy my blade. And then, like I said before, once you've hit this sort of situation, it should be about 15-16 minutes into the game. This should be your iron build, where you have a Blade of the Ruined King, Berserker Greaves, and then maybe a dagger depending on your gold. And a Doran's Blade, obviously, because that's life when you have a Doran's Blade. Mid lane again, Yasuo is sort of doing this crazy 3v1 trick where he almost kills all of them. And maybe if he didn't get exhausted, he really might have done, which is pretty worrying. Malphite died here trying to roam down to help. And we were left in this really awkward spot where I don't want to be here at this point of the game. I wanted to go top and kill the Lucian, but I also felt like I should try and do something at least with the team. But I absolutely didn't want to. The reason I stayed around here was because I actually thought the chance of getting this mid tower very high, just because of the way they were positioned. But at the end of the day, you know, it didn't really work out. So I started to back off here. I'm not sure if I stayed or not. Yeah, so I did stay, and I thought, okay, actually towering is a good idea now because I have a catapult. In hindsight, I should have hit this tower a little bit earlier because I was actually pretty safe. But at the end of the day, we didn't really get anything out of it. I did go for a cheeky kill on this thresh here, but didn't really get it off. I had to use my ult. Lee Sin went in way too deep. I got the blade off and killed him. Got the shutdown. Flashed from the Yasuo, and ended up getting maybe another kill. I think I get this other kill with the Dick Sponge. Yeah, I get the W off from the Dick Sponge and get the kill on the Yasuo. So that's another double kill and double boss to me, which obviously puts me a lot stronger. And like I said, the game plan really is still not to be where I am. This is not where I want to be, even though I got a double kill. It was very... I don't like taking risks, and I felt like it was a very risky play, just because you rely on your team again to do stuff. And I relied on Lee Sin to make a mistake, and luckily he did. He shouldn't have made the mistake he made. It was a very random mistake, in my opinion. If he didn't make that mistake, it would have been a totally different exchange there, and I probably should have died. And like even there, if Thresh hit the hook on me here, I was probably dead. It's just very, very risky, and I don't like taking risks in solo queue at all, because I think the best kind of game plan is the kind of game plan where you know what's going to happen every time you do a certain action, and then you come out of that action ahead because you knew what was going to happen, so you can pre-plan what you wanted to do. So, again, my team here is sort of just losing, I guess, is for lack of better words. They're not really losing, but they're not really doing very well, because they're just sort of pushing and getting a lot of pressure on the map for it, which means I can't split push. I get a nice kill on Yasuo here, just sort of blow him up with the Aatrox, and then have to back off. That's one thing Yasuo, he's 1-5 this game, which I didn't think would happen. I really thought he'd do a lot better than he did this game. Because I mean, he's obviously not a bad player, because he's been doing this crazy 2v2 shit and 1v3 shit, which bad Yasuos don't do. So here I thought about going top to kill Aurelia, but I thought against it and ended up going Dragon. The reason I went Dragon here instead of going top was because I actually had faith in Aatrox's smite of all things, because he did a really nice smite last time, so I presumed, you know, he could probably pull it off again, and he did, so that was really nice. One of the few times I actually put faith in my team. Yeah, got another kill out of it on Lee Sin here, so it's pushed me at 7-2, which is really nice. And as you'll notice, honestly, I'm really not doing anything special this game. Now, I've pointed this out before when I played Yudo and stuff, where, in my opinion, things I'm doing are not very special. It's very standard sort of play. I do some nice things later on in the game, but for the first 20 minutes, it's pretty much whatever. So here, my team, I have no idea why decided to go and try to kill Aatrox. Sorry, not the Aatrox, the Yasuo in the jungle, and ended up just sort of getting smashed to bits by him. Both Nilly and Aatrox died, and I went to farm mid because I don't think fighting in a jungle against a Yasuo is very smart when he's 1-5 and not really worth any gold. Yasuo here gets a triple kill. I don't know why I want to call him Aatrox, but I do. Yasuo gets a triple kill, which puts him really hardly back in the game, as he went from like 1-5 to 4-6 in one team fight, which is incredible to me, but that's life at Diamond 1. People chase stupid kills. I mean, what's the point in chasing that when he's literally worth about 50 gold? You get no value out of it. I got more value by going mid and killing 3 creeps than they got from chasing Yasuo that was potentially worth 50 gold. So, plays like that are why I don't like playing with the team, even at this ELO. I've had this mentality for a long time now, and honestly, the higher I get, the more I realise that I'm probably right, and that the more you play with the team, the more you lose. So those of you that are lower ELO, it applies even more to you, because if you're better than your ELO, the last thing you want to do is play with your team. Now, I don't mean this every game, I just mean this in games where people are obviously doing really stupid things like this game. Why would you want to take part in stupid plays? Because the only thing that happens is you get further behind, you don't farm, and you don't make opportunities for yourself to kill people, which is where you get ahead. So that's something really to take from this video, is that if you think your team is stupid, stop playing with them, because the only thing you're doing is making yourself look stupid. So the reason I didn't go for this Yasuo kill is because I knew Lee Sin was behind. I saw him on a ward before, and I don't think me trying to solo Yasuo at this point is a smart idea, because he had stacks from the creeps, which means he could tornado me, and if he tornadoed me and hit his ultimate on me, I would die. So Karma here almost baits me into dying here. I knew Lee Sin was here. Apparently she didn't, because she tried to walk forward and I don't know what that skill is called actually. Focused resolve. Okay, we're going to call that link from that one. Tried to link with the Yasuo and almost ran into danger, but luckily I didn't fall for that one because I saw the Lee Sin on the ward. What's going on the map? Malphite's doing well top lane with Aatrox to push towers. This is what you want to do with the strategy. It's just pretty much, I'm going to pause the game here because this is quite a game changing moment. This is what you want to do with the strategy, is to push top and bottom and ignore mid, because usually in these games your mid lane player is not very smart, as this game is not doing great. And mid lane is sort of the lane where things can either go really right or really wrong really quickly. Because if they get like 4 kills mid lane, it's so easy for them to go Baron, because it's so close. Whereas if they get kills sort of here, it's still close to Baron, but it's easier to sort of get to. That makes no sense at all, but whatever. And same bot lane, it's far enough away from Baron that by the time they get a kill at this stage of the game, you should be alive and be able to save it. So Aurelia made a really nice TP here, and the team fight sort of went down, and I was not caring at all here because I presumed everyone was going to die. Which is why I'm doing my best to push this bottom lane as hard as possible, because at the end of the day, League of Legends is not about killing people, it's about killing objectives and their base, and that's what I wanted to do. So that's why I didn't go and try and jump my team fight like Karma did. Wrong decision by the Karma here, because by the time you get there, it's going to be over anyway, so what's the point? That's something to learn as well, is that a lot of times just pushing objectives is 100 times better. So Karma actually made a nice ward here from what I remember, to the point where, I wish this mouse cursor would stop doing this. Okay, yeah, so Karma warded Lucian, and I was very aware that Lucian was coming here. He killed the tower, stealthed up, and decided, okay, whatever, I'm probably stronger than this guy. Didn't use my ult very early, but I used it then. Got the kill on Lucian. Then actually got the kill with the spear. And flashed away from Yasuo. He got exhausted by Karma, which is really nice. Attack animation cancelled, and got Yasuo dead. Karma chased and got the Thresh dead, which is really nice. At least I think he did, yeah. And that was basically all because I split pushed bottom rather than going middle. If I did that, nothing would have happened there. We would have been out 2 kills for nothing, maybe even 3 kills for nothing. Instead, by me split pushing, we got a bottom tower, which opens up me pushing base towers. And we also got 3 kills, and possibly a 4th. It's hard to say if that was really due to what I did. But yeah, me doing that literally gave us 3 kills in the tower. Instead of, because it's literally a choice there where I either go mid and do nothing or go bottom and do a lot. And my team started to pressure mid tower here. I can't remember if they got it or not, but it certainly did a lot of damage to it, which is obviously important. And they actually got the tower. So you can argue the fact that we got 4 kills and 2 towers because of my one decision in the game, which is, you know, it's a big deal. So my team got caught again here. Karma dies, which is not really the biggest deal. And you notice Malphite is doing the right thing. Instead of going mid and trying to team fight, which is risky, he just goes top instead. I just soloed Lucian down here because Twitch does that. You stealth up on people and you pretty much one-hit them. Yeah, that's life when you play Twitch. So Malphite's being really annoying top. And you notice here, this is again another pause moment. Malphite's top lane putting massive pressure because he's got 300 armor at this point of the game versus a full AD team. How do you kill that? You really don't. I'm sort of bottom lane putting massive pressure down because I just soloed Lucian, which means I'm opening a base tower up here if nobody tries to do anything. This base tower is mine. And obviously what they want to do is shove mid, and my team is losing the fight mid. This Nidalee is maybe even going to die here by the looks of it. Aatrox has to go and farm walls to regen its health from being poked, and then it causes Aurelia to recoil, who probably would have had to recoil anyway, and Thresh is sort of running over to try and help. Now, this is why this 1-3-1 split is so effective in solo queue, because people just don't know how to deal with it. And when you pick champions like Twitch and Malphite that are just so abusive in these kind of situations, it's just so strong. So again, even though I'm really incredibly far pushed up for a 23-minute game, I'm going to just continue to push, because I see no reason not to. Aurelia comes at me here, and this is probably one of the nicest plays I've made for a long time. It looks like I'm dead, get my blade off, get my heal off right at the last second, attack animation cancel, and for some reason it forgot to hit me there, which is very lucky. And yeah, got a Khan Aurelia, which puts me even further ahead, and a score of 11-2 this game, which is pretty nice. So by doing that, again, just the amount of pressure caused is unreal. Malphite here pushed him off the tower because they tried to come back and save the base tower. Got a tower top now. So from rotations alone, and I know that word is a very key word right now in the LoL community, but rotations alone have got us a tower here, and a tower here. 3 tier 2 towers just from rotating around the map properly. That is how big of a deal it is. And this strategy allows you to do that. You can pull this off. Anybody can pull this strategy off as long as you have enough game sense to press the tab button and look who's on the map. Again, team fight goes off here, which we're going to lose, because so far we've actually lost every single team fight that we've actually sort of gone into. And that doesn't really change this game. We tend to lose every single team fight possible. And I thought this was going quite bad here, and honestly it really was. Can't remember if Karma dies or not. I got Hulk, which was very scary. And Aatrox dies. So we lost 2 for nothing there, which is obviously not something you want to do. And at this point of the game, I remember vividly that 2 people on my team were saying, okay, we should really group as 5 now. We should group as 5 now. The best thing to do is group as 5. And I was just sat there like, we can't group as 5. I didn't say this, but I thought to myself and said to Ruggers, we can't group as 5 because every single time this game we have grouped, apart from that one fight bottom lane, which wasn't really a real 3v3. It was like a 1v3, 3 times over. We died. And then when Nidalee is doing things like this, it gives you no faith whatsoever in sort of team fighting. Because why would I want to team fight with a team that's doing very risky and maybe even you could consider stupid plays? So Aurelia again tries for the kill on me here, which just doesn't happen because Blade is too strong of an item. I almost kill him, but Lucian's heal saves him. They get the lantern out and whatever. So again, going back to this, I don't want to team fight because if you look at the gold, I'm at 12k to 8k, which means I win every 1v1 no matter what. Malphite is at 10k pretty much to 7.5k, so he's way ahead as well. Whereas mid lane, they're even. Jungle, Lee Sin's ahead, and Thresh is miles behind Karma, but that's support, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. Because one hook changes the game, whereas Karma poke is not game-changingly big most of the time, at least. So that's the reason I don't want to team fight. They get a really nice kill actually here onto the Yasuo, which I'm quite impressed by. And do they die? That's the sort of question this game is, do they die? No. Okay. So my own choice this game is Blade of the Ruined King, Shiv, into Last Whisper, into Banshees. The reason I bought Shiv is so I wanted more burst damage onto this Yasuo, because burst damage is sort of key when you're trying to fight teams like this. Sustained damage is not the biggest deal when you want to insta-kill somebody, which is what I want to do this game. It means nothing if I hit a little bit quicker, if I kill people in 2 hits. What does it matter? It doesn't really matter, basically, is what it comes down to. So again, I've gone back to bottom lane. Most of my time in this game has been spent in the bottom lane or at Dragon, and that's how it should be. Again, just pushing, and by doing this, it sort of forces the enemy team to sort of try plays mid, which they actually do a pretty good job of this game, to be fair to them. I think they've done a good job of dealing with it. Unlucky to not hit that there. My team's sort of just running around. Really awkward team fight, which doesn't really do anything. Really good Malphite ultimate actually, which changes the game, I would say. And you notice here, enemy team's pinging, oh my god, look, how did we miss the Twitch? And that's sort of like the very key thing, and the common thing in games at this point, where it's like, wow, we have to back because Twitch is going to kill our base. And the amount of times you've seen this, sorry, I've seen this, is very, very common in games. So I can't actually get the base tower because of the fact that Lucian is trying to defend it. I tried to snipe him off here over the wall, but I decided it wasn't worth my summoners because I want them for a team fight. Inevitably, a team fight is going to happen at this point in the game because my team has managed to win a team fight mid, which I'm quite impressed by actually. It was pretty much down to the Malphite armor. So my team gets a mid tower. I rotate mid, so I decided there's no point in being bottom anymore. Lee Sin, I'm not sure what he was really thinking. I guess he wanted to jump to this ward as he just placed it, kick the Aatrox back into the team, and then sort of flash out. And I guess that's the play he wanted to make. But it just, yeah, he ended up killing the Aatrox, but it just didn't work out for him at all. And when Lee Sin's dead, there's no sort of pressure of me being kicked into the team and just dying. So we're pretty good. Here they overchased really hard. I went round because I didn't want a team fight, but Yasuo put himself into a situation where I could stealth up here, and this is one thing to really know on Twitch, is that your positioning is super important in team fights. I could have just started shooting from here, but then I might have got hooked. I'm not sure if he's actually hooking here. But I didn't want to get hooked into anything, basically. So I stealthed, and I knew Malphite was never going to die, because, you know, with that much armor, 430 armor at this point in the game, you don't die on Malphite. So I waited for him to sort of just tank a couple of hits, get in a nice position, walked around, killed Yasuo, had to flash, because I was a bit scared. It wasn't really a good flash at all, honestly. But we got Yasuo, we got the Thresh, and then we end up killing Lucian here, which is really risky play by me, but I think it was worth it. And okay, so I had a phone call here, which might have been a little bit interruption, but I just killed the Lucian. And one thing to note here is the fact that we didn't even try and get Baron, and I think that's becoming more prevalent, especially in the LCS, where Baron is just becoming more and more and more of a throw in every single game that I play and see, where they could have got back into this game by getting Baron. And I would consider that almost a fact, I guess, because Baron just puts you so far ahead in the game. Like, the stats it gives, the gold it gives, everything it gives. I mean, they are 10k behind, which is quite a big deal. But when the gold is pretty much only on me and Malphite, like, I'm 4k ahead, Malphite's 3k. Almost, yeah, 3k. So 7k on me and Malphite, and the rest of the team is pretty much on Karma. Karma's 4k ahead somehow. I have no idea how that's happened, but yeah. I get the kill on Yasuo here from the really... It's still awkward position to sort of shoot from. I'm sort of like in the wall, but I'm not in the wall. And my poison takes him down, I think, and kills him here. Oh, Ruggers actually kills him, so that's cool. And again, we didn't go for Baron, even though it might have been a good call here to go for Baron. I just don't think it's worth... I don't want to say ever, but like, if we killed Lee Sin, then okay, we can go. But when it's a 50-50 smite war, it's just never worth it. Especially because if you look at the levels, Lee Sin is level 15, whereas Aatrox is level 14. So, in theory, Lee Sin should win the smite war, even at this stage of the game. So, Baron is something that I just do not think is ever worth doing. Fast forwarding here because it's pretty much the end of the game. I'm just sort of completing my last items. I think I have Infinity Edge right now. Yeah, so I'm going to recall for my Infinity Edge. And that puts me at Infinity Edge, Blade, Banshee, Shiv, Boots, and Last Whisper, which is pretty much like a full item build, which you want. The 31 minutes, which is pretty strong. My score is 14, 2, and 8, and 236 creeps, which is quite nice. Could have more creeps, obviously, but when you have 14 kills, it's hard to find time to kill creeps. Gonna finish my red buff here. And then, basically, the last team fight is pretty much the case of, okay, Malphite's got pretty much 600 armor. What do we do? Because what do you do against that? You know, it's very hard to do anything against that. So, as a last note to note, you notice I picked my duo queue partners very specifically. I've only really duo queued in the past with Chaz and Ruggers. Before this kill happened, this is quite a funny kill. And you notice if you look at the scores, okay, we have a negative Aatrox jungle. He's played okay, to be fair to him. He's 3 and 7, 9. Nidalee 4, 5, 11, and Karma 3, 3, 16, which has done well. But no one's sort of like heavily positive in this game like Lee Sin is. Like, Lee Sin deserved to win this game. I'll freely say that. And the scores, I'm 14, 2, and 8, and Ruggers is 7, 3, 5. It's pretty obvious who's done the best in this game. And that's why I picked Ruggers to duo queue with. It's pretty simple as that, really. Especially in creep numbers. Creep numbers are very important, even in games like this, because it shows that you can play a very solid playstyle where you don't need kills to sort of put yourself into a situation where you can win. So, okay, now for this kill. Watch how fast. I remember just laughing at this guy because it was just so insane how quick this guy died. Okay, he's there, and then he's dead. You know, it's just sort of whatever. I find that quite amusing. And then we just sort of push into the base, and it's, yeah. How do you lose the game in a situation? You don't really lose the game in a situation. So, losing it quite out here, but we just ignored him because, again, base tower is more important. Ajax gets a nice stun, and I guess I just kill Thresher. Or maybe just kill nobody. Yeah, just kill nobody instead. That's fine as well. And then we just push to the base, and I get a quadra kill. I guess it was a penta. Was it a penta? No, because Nidalee took the kill. Okay. This is like a glorified quadra kill. Yeah. I positioned pretty well with my stealth. Bladed the Aurelia to get him off me. Killed him with Expunge. It's not even called Expunge anymore, but that's fine. Contaminate. Killed the Thresh. Kited Yasuo through the wall, just sort of like 2-hit him again. He doesn't really do any damage, so it's not really anything to be scared of. And then finish Lucian off in the base, because why not? And that's pretty much the end of the game. So, key things to learn from this game is that you can be selfish and play a very selfish playstyle playing AD. It's not just limited to things like Udyr top lane, etc. This is pretty much a hard carry game, I would consider. 19-2-8 is a pretty good score at this rating. And like, I didn't really do anything special. The only thing I think I did well was cutting that Aurelia to the death and some attack animation cancelling. But in reality, you know, I don't feel like I did anything special that game. And I think it was mostly down to gameplay decisions and taking 1v1s, which you can't really lose. Because, let's be real here, it's not hard to press the stealth button, go on someone's head, press W, blade, and then your R button, and right click them to death until they run out and then you press Expunge. Like, that is not complex to do. It doesn't matter what ELO you are, in my opinion, any player should be able to do that. So, take that and hopefully use this to your advantage and try the strategy. You don't need a duo queue partner to do this. You can pull the same strategy off playing 2v2 lanes. It's just a little bit harder to get ahead because you need to have good laning mechanics to do that. But in general, Twitch and lane really isn't that hard to play. So thanks for watching this video, and hopefully you're listening.